That's a no. Gimme.
I shot this shit before.
Okay.
Earlier this month, the newest Halloween movie came out, finishing up what I'll unofficially call the David Gordon Green trilogy, after the director released 3 movies. I saw the remake, but not a remake, reboot without it really being a reboot, but kind of is, movie in 2018. I remember enjoying what I saw of it. It was the first movie I saw in the franchise, before seeing the original movie a few weeks later. I've heard nothing about Halloween Kills and, similarly, heard nothing about Halloween Ends. But since these movies came out and it's the spirit of Halloween, I figured I'd watch them all and give my thoughts on them. Halloween 2018 is in a weird spot in the franchise, due to the fact that the Halloween universe is so complicated with all these different films, with each few movies having different canons than the rest. 2018 decides to be a direct sequel to the original classic, which was a good call in my opinion. It trims the fat and makes the plot a lot easier to understand without completely throwing away the original film. They even make a joke about the other movies in this one.
Wasn't it her brother who, like, cold-blooded mutilated all those teenagers?
No. That's just a bit that some people made up to make him feel better, I think.
The film starts out with 2 British people at a mental facility where Michael Myers is being studied. They went there for their podcast. Michael is due a transfer to a permanent facility where he won't be studied anymore by the doctor he has. The British podcasters then go to see Laurie Strode, the survivor from the first movie. She lives in the woods and has an equipped gun range so she can train for the day Michael will return. The podcasters tell her to let go of the hatred she has for Michael and bring up that Laurie's daughter was taken from her at age 12 because Laurie was seen as a neglectful parent. Laurie then promptly asks them to leave. We then meet our new main character, Allison, Laurie Strode's granddaughter. We also meet Laurie's daughter and Allison's dad, who rocks.
Oh man, I got peanut butter on my penis.
We then meet all of Allison's friends, girl guy friend, her boyfriend, and Oscar. Michael is being transported out of the mental facility to his new prison, where Laurie waits outside for the bus to go. Allison's mom trauma dumps to Allison about her childhood with her mother's obsession with Michael Myers. And because the driver sucked at his job, the mental patient bus crashes, causing Michael Myers to escape and kill these 2 people.
Don't shoot!
The British people go to a gas station where Michael Myers shows the girl his impromptu dental exam, to which she does not enjoy. Jokes aside, this scene is very effective. It showcases the brutality of Michael Myers and how unhinged he can be. We see Laurie's secret basement door, then my favorite scene in the movie happens. Michael is out on Halloween walking around house to house. I personally always like long takes and love them when they are done especially well. Crazy, I like when things are done well. This is the most memorable scene in the movie, in this whole trilogy by far. Before I even wrote this video, this was the main scene I remembered. And if you saw this movie when it came out, this was probably the central scene you remember too. Allison goes to her high school's Halloween party with her boyfriend where they fight and the acting isn't very good.
What you thought you saw, but like Kim literally was talking to me.
Really?
She came up to me and like whispered in my ear, okay, you don't have to cry about it, it's not that big a deal.
I'd say for the most part, the acting from Allison and Laurie are really good, but everyone else is pretty hit or miss.
Your fucking precious phone?
What the fuck?
You gonna get that? Or you want me to get it?
Allison's friend is babysitting a neighbor kid when her boyfriend comes over. Michael Myers comes out of the closet.
Oh shit!
Which he magically got into and attacks the babysitter. The scene is honestly funny, and I'm not sure if it's intended to be. It seems like it's leaning toward being slasher cheesy, which I expect, but not quite sure if that's what they were going for. It feels just a little confused. Considering some scenes can be very effective at being tense, this is just different. Officer Hawkins enters the building both characters were in, but it is too late. Michael has to know what he's doing. There's no sane person, let alone insane person, that would find a white bedsheet and cut ghost eye holes into it just to hide a dead body, and then walk immediately past. Hawkins has the worst possible aim.
Michael!
Even the kid from earlier had better aim. Laurie takes Allison's mom and dad to her house and arms them to keep them safe from Michael Myers. Oscar fumbles the bag so badly that Michael Myers kills him out of pity. The doctor talks to Officer Hawkins about Michael, and then a surprise twist is revealed. I know this bothered a lot of people, and it is cliched, but I don't mind it that much, honestly. The movie up to this point has more ridiculous scenes, so the plot twist doesn't really bother me, and it offers a better justification for the bus crashing at the beginning. Michael kills the doctor, and Allison escapes into the forest. There's this random scene of these two cops talking about their food, and I don't know why this is even in the movie.
And the term actually refers to the bread, and not so much the contents therein.
Because it isn't funny, doesn't progress the plot forward, doesn't do anything. The dad sees an abandoned police car on the TV and goes to investigate, only to be killed by Michael Myers. He died as he lived.
Oh man, I got peanut butter on my peanut.
Laurie decides to stand right next to the door with the gun instead of standing a few steps back, which allow her to get attacked by Michael Myers. Laurie goes into the basement in a tense scene where they hear the floor creak. Really like the POV shots they do here. Allison stumbles into the shooting range where a very poorly edited scene happens. Laurie then gets thrown out of the window and does the Peter Griffin pose. Allison finally makes her way to the house, where she hides in the basement to reconnect with her mom, and Allison mom outplays Michael hard.
Gotcha.
The house was never a house, but actually a trap for Michael. They set it on fire and escape, letting Michael burn alive. Honestly, this movie's about the same as I remember it. It's not bad by any means, but not something I'd rewatch soon. It's got really good moments, but is slow at points. The characters aren't all that developed, most of them are pretty one-note. Performances by Jamie Lee Curtis and Andy Matichak are very good in the film, with everyone else ranging to having their moments or just not good. I give Halloween 2018 a 6 out of 10.
Oh my god, who's it at the door? Oh my god, it's Mike Myers. No, don't stab me, I'm niche internet micro celebrity. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Oh my god, I can't believe it. It's niche internet micro celebrity Basic Chills of youtube.com/Basic Chills fame.
Oh my god. It's niche internet micro celebrity Exactly of youtube.com/Exactly. What happened to you?
I was attacked by Michael Myers. Do you, Basic Chills, think that you can cover the next movie for me?
Sure.
Alright, thanks.
The Halloween franchise for me is tricky. I'm not a huge fan of the slasher film genre, and my experience with the franchise is very little. I've only watched the original Halloween, which wasn't that bad, and of course the new reboot trilogy. Halloween Kills is a direct sequel to the Halloween 2018 reboot, coming out in 2021. I actually saw this in theaters, and from what I remember, it was fine. It felt useless compared to its predecessor, and now looking back, it feels useless in the trilogy as a whole, almost as if it was a different type of movie in its own little universe. But let's find out if I was right, or if I'm just an overly harsh critic that came from film Twitter.
Look and listen, it's Halloween.
So, the movie starts with the awful boyfriend from the last movie, Cameron, who, if you really want to know why he's bad, dipped his girlfriend's phone in nacho cheese right after gaslighting about cheating on her. Anyways, he finds an officer named Hawkins bleeding out to death. So, naturally, instead of calling 911 right away, he just yells help over and over again. While the cop does the usual vague horror movie talk, playing the pronoun game, it cuts to a flashback sequence taking place during the original movie, where a young Hawkins, among other cops, are chasing down Michael Myers. Hawkins' partner gets killed because of monologuing, and the other cops are able to take down Michael.
Haddonfield, where nothing exciting ever happened.
Ending with this goofy line from Dr. Loomis.
Officer Hawkins, tell me, what happened in here? Tell me what happened. Did Michael kill? Did Michael kill again?
Even though the scene does kind of feel unneeded, seeing as Hawkins is probably in this movie for like 2 minutes in total, I do appreciate the usage of the classic score and the trying to replicate the grainy film style of the 1978 film. After the usual 2-minute opening credits homage to the classic films, we go to a stand-up comedy event, meeting some new faces who are Vanessa, a doctor, and Marcus, a nurse, both of which will most likely be dead after the 1 hour mark. We then have this Avengers Endgame moment, bringing back characters from the original film that you didn't even remember. There's Tommy Doyle, who was the kid that Laurie babysat, Lindsay Wallace, who was another child whose babysitter died, Marion Chambers, who got jump scared by Michael, and some guy named Lonnie, who is actually the father of Cameron. Now, going directly after the previous film, we see some firefighters heading to the building where Laurie, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, Karen by Judy Greer, and Allison, played by Andy Matichek? I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name. Had left Michael to burn at the end of the last movie. With some bone-chilling line delivery from Jamie, we then see Michael just kicking everyone's asses while escaping from the collapsing home. To be honest, the scene of Michael Myers going ham against a bunch of firefighters is pretty cool. With some good lighting and this one quick shot from inside the mask is kinda nice, but I feel like it almost hides most of the action. Though, you know this is a good scene if people make tons of TikTok fan edits of it. So, after some injuries sustained at the end of the last film, Laurie now has to be hospitalized, with Alice and Karen having to watch over her. And also, the Officer Hawkins guy ends up being placed in the same room as her. So Michael is now going around killing a bunch of people, causing panic throughout the town. This one escaped inmate from the same psychiatric hospital that Michael Myers went to is also causing some chaos, with people starting to think that he is Michael. So it's a whole thing. I don't know why, but it's just funny to me to think that what if this was actually Michael driving this car, seeing as we've never seen him drive before, usually just teleports to wherever the writers want him to be. But yeah, the patient goes Tokyo drift mode with this nurse guy's car until he crashes. Among all this, the Tommy guy from earlier is starting mobs of people to try and hunt him down, along with cameos from earlier, and even Cameron joins. Allison tries to join too, but Ant-Man mom doesn't want her to, telling her to stay with Laurie, which I guess makes sense, but then the mom does absolutely nothing and barely acknowledges when Allison just sneaks out anyways. We then meet a couple who actually lives in Michael's childhood home, named Big and Little John, or as I like to call them, the guy from El Camino and, shit, what has this guy been in? Oh, let's see. The female Ghostbusters movie, yeah. A bunch of Casper spin-offs? Yeah, I'll just stick to calling him Little John. But anyways, they are gay, and that is pretty cool. There honestly hasn't been that much LGBTQ plus representation from horror films. I mean, there hasn't been a good openly gay character in horror since Mitch from Paranorman. But you know what? There's too many characters now, so that means people gotta die soon. Let's see our roster. Let's see. How about a bunch of annoying random children at a park? Yeah, we could do that, you know. We could also do one or two of the cameos. Yeah, it works. And how about the nurse and doctor characters? Who, by the way, I will say that the doctor gets the funniest death scene in the whole movie. All right, now no one else needs to die. All right, we're good. Here, see, look, El Camino guy and Little John are just taking out their knives. No particular reason. Everything's all right and fine.
I got this knife. I got this knife.
You call that a knife? This is a knife. Ooh, down I go. Ooh.
Wait, why is Michael there? No, not them two. Do not take them too. Wait a minute. Did Michael just position their bodies like they are in the photo? Oh my god, Michael's an ally, yeah! So, remember the patient guy from earlier? Well, now he's at the hospital just vibing when all of a sudden people start chasing him thinking he is Michael. The Ant-Man mom tries to help him, but that is unsuccessful, so he decides to take his own life.
So, you see, this is actually a major theme presented in the movie where...
It's not just Michael. It's what he's done to this town, these people. Decent people. You're a good man, Frank. You were doing your job. But now it needs to die. Because every time somebody's afraid, the boogeyman wins.
Oh. I guess we really needed our hand held for this movie. Okay. She might as well just face the camera and go, Michael is evil, so he spreads that evil. I mean, like, did we really need an explanation of the only theme presented in this story? But moving on, Allison, Cameron, and his father Lonnie try to figure out where Michael is going, which is his home, and it seems Tommy and all the others are catching on too. When the three of them make it to the house, Lonnie tells the two to stay in the car. But why? I get maybe he had a moment of clarity, but you took them this far, and they all knew the danger. You know it's strength in numbers. I know this sounds cruel, but seriously. But anyways, he goes in alone, and surprise, surprise, the kids follow, and oh, another surprise, they find the dad dangling from the ceiling. Afterwards, they investigate the dead bodies of the only good characters in the movie, them being Little and Big John, of course. But alright, Cameron is finally alone with Allison as they are looking around. This could be a good time for him to apologize for his previous actions, or, you know, maybe have a heart-to-heart. Okay, I guess they're separating now. Alright, that's fine. We'll just get his redemption arc now, and then they can talk about their feelings later. I guess not. So, Cameron gets eliminated from the movie, and Allison falls down the stairs. Michael comes down getting ready to kill her when all of a sudden Ant-Man mom comes to the rescue and stabs him with a pitchfork, which is actually a callback to the scene from earlier when Michael was terrorizing Little and Big John's house.
Next time I'm coming with a pitchfork.
But the mom plays the dumbest game of I got your mask with him and runs away with it, eventually dropping it on the ground for him to pick up. And as he grabs it, lights turn on all around him, showing him surrounded by Tommy and the rest of the gang. Everyone starts beating the shit out of him, taking turns shooting, stabbing, and hitting him, with even the mom stabbing him in the back. And as he just lays there lifelessly, she ends up going back to the house where Allison is just chilling with the paramedics. But you know what? He's dead, alright? You know, I guess there's no need for a third movie. Yay, it's over. But yeah, I guess he could be stabbed and shot and hit a bunch of times and be fine because he literally pulls the biggest no you and kills them all. It is kind of stupid how no one tries to shoot him from afar. One guy's like, yeah, I'll walk up to him and shoot him. So yeah, they all die, including Tommy. Woohoo, everyone was useless. So we then cut to the mom and Allison hugging on the porch when Karen decides to go into the house for some reason, I don't know. Also nitpick, but why is Ant-Man mom allowed to go into an active crime scene? Oh, right, so she can get herself killed. So yeah, she died. She dead now. Yep. And also, how did Michael get there so fast without anyone seeing him? I swear he teleports wherever the script needs him to be. But yep, the credits roll and that's it. That's the movie. Hey. I will stand on what I said before about this feeling as if it's in its own little universe. I mean, if you compare this to the other two movies in the trilogy, it holds no significance to the overarching narrative nor the plots. The only thing is, Karen dying kind of had a slight impact on Allison in Halloween Ends, but that's it. There's no connection other than that. You could make the defense that, oh, this is a slasher film, it doesn't need to be connected, it doesn't have to have a story. But I argue that this being in a trilogy that started off with an actual story and different plot, and using this movie as a way to draw it out just doesn't work. And also, all the characters aren't even interesting. The original characters have nothing to do, not even Allison, and all the new ones have barely any personality that stand out from each other. And it doesn't even matter because they are written out of the movie faster than they enter. In my personal opinion, I feel that it was a smart choice having Michael's reach spread to more areas of the town, rather than just having it all be about Laurie. But how they managed it didn't work at all. With such a big cast and a runtime of only an hour and 40 minutes, it didn't give enough time to flesh out any characters to gain any emotional attachments to. My point is that I feel that there were ideas here that actually could have made for a better filler movie than what we got. But if I'm being honest, this movie is harmless. If you watch it just for fun, I'm sure it's fine. But if you go into it expecting a good continuation of the 2018 film, then you would be mistaken. But if you want to watch a good horror movie or show, I recommend these. And to end this off, I'll do the usual the review thingy that Exzactly does. I give Halloween Kills a 3 out of 10.
Halloween Ends is a very odd film overall. The first two movies in this trilogy are reliant on each other, with Kills starting at the very end of 2018. Whereas Halloween Ends, it takes place 4 years after the other two movies. The movie doesn't even open with Michael Myers, it opens with the new character, Corey. Corey, as our new main character, starts with him babysitting for a kid on Halloween night. But he sucks at his job and accidentally kills the kid. After the credits, we see Laurie writing a story about her life and what has happened to her. She's now living with Allison and lives in Haydenfield. She's a lot happier now. Now, let's hope that doesn't change. Corey gets a new motorcycle to replace his crappy bicycle. Allison has a run-in with her weird ex. We then see a hole under the overpass that plays a Halloween theme, hinting that Michael is hiding there. At the gas station, Corey gets made fun of by the lamest kids ever.
Getting too pussy to buy some fucking
Guys, you know what?
beer.
Let's just fucking forget about it. Let's just go to the game, okay?
You're just a little pedo.
Look at him.
Let him know, Terry.
Is that what you
want? A little fucking pedo.
He's 9 years old! You can just wring his neck!
Right. So where's your next victim?
Laurie saves Corey from the lifetime bullies and takes him to the hospital Allison works at. Allison attempts to flirt with Corey and fails horribly.
Why can't the bicycle stand on its own?
No, it can't. It's got a kickstand.
Because it was too tired.
Then Laurie gives the weirdest pep talk. I'm not sure how to explain it. I'll just play the clip.
You know, you need to find someone that can let go. That makes you want to rip off your shirt and show grief your fucking tits and say, you know what? Let's go.
Thank you, Laurie. Very cool. Laurie goes to the store and runs into Officer Hawkins and has some playful conversation with him. Allison takes Corey to a club where they have seizure lights, which I won't show because they are seizure lights. Corey has the worst costume ever.
Anything you like?
Corey's having a good time when the mom of the kid he kills makes him feel bad because he did kill a kid. Corey walks away from the party after breaking up with Allison. So quick editor's note as I was editing this. There's this weird transition where after the fight, Allison puts her hand over her eyes and then it crossfades into the moon. But why would you do that? It's not like a normal hand thing either, like, oh, I'm crying, I need to cover my eyes. It's like this weird, you have like your palms on your eye. This movie can't even get people to cry correctly, are you kidding me?
You just act like a goddamn asshole because your father treats you like one.
It's contagious, right? I know what it looks like when somebody hates you. When your father fucking hates you.
Weird that Corey is saying this when he seems to get along well with his dad. His dad gave him the motorcycle he drives all the time and has him work at his shop, assumedly with pay. If he was talking about his mom, that would make more sense. He then gets beat up by all the band kids and pushed off a bridge. Corey then wakes up inside Michael Myers' glory hole. Michael starts choking him. This movie has some serious editing problems. Corey's life flashes before his eyes, and the montage earlier with Laurie recounting the last two movies wasn't good either. But Corey somehow manages to escape. A homeless dude attacks Corey, so Corey kills him in self-defense. Allison gets turned down for a promotion at work. They then do a parallel shot, like in the original movie.
I killed someone.
It's weird that Allison is this in love with Corey when they've only known each other for a few days max. And I get that she sympathizes with him because she was viewed as a victim and he's kind of viewed as a victim. It doesn't really make sense, but they try to explain it.
I know it sounds crazy, but when people would talk about it, it was like I knew you. Like I was looking for you. And then she brought you to me.
What? What are you talking about?
Corey breaks into the mansion that the kid he killed was in, where Corey vents about that fateful night.
And it all went bad.
This love side plot is so weird. These characters have no chemistry together, and I can't understand why Allison still wants to be around this guy. I would maybe understand, as she stated reasons earlier, but the second he mentioned he killed another person and didn't offer any explanation as to why, run! Corey talks about how he would burn the town if Allison wants him to, which again, get the hell out of there. Corey then goes back to Michael Myers' glory hole and tricks a guy to go inside. Corey then asks Michael to teach him how to kill like he does.
Show me how to do it.
This weird plot of Michael being dormant and hiding in this glory hole for 4 years is just wrong to the character. He is the entity of evil. I don't see why he would just hide in a hole. The homeless guy earlier alludes to other killings.
You take people in there now and then. Why'd he let you live?
But how did he live like this? Michael would never look for partnership. If someone approached Michael and asked him to be taught, Michael would just kill him. He's not an animal that gets fed and listens to you. He has no allegiance to anyone. It's also an hour into the movie and we get our first Michael Myers kill. An hour into the movie. For more than half of the movie, Michael Myers has not killed anyone. Laurie talks to the dead kid's father and he says something is different about Corey now. That there's something different about his eyes. Corey then kills Allison's boss and coworker with the help of Michael Myers. Corey talks about running away with Allison on top of the radio building, where he gets yelled at by the owner, for more than fair reasons. The next day, it's Halloween, and Laurie's just randomly inside the dead kid's house. She monologues to Corey about how he's kinda fucked up and needs help. Corey talks about how him and Laurie aren't that different after all. That was so shit. I am so sorry. Corey then somehow beats up Michael Myers in the glory hole. The same guy that got pushed off a bridge by a band nerd can somehow beat Michael Myers in a fight with little to no effort. The same Michael Myers that survived this. And this. And this. And the list just goes on and on. Laurie tries to warn Allison about Corey, but it falls on deaf ears.
You want me to believe you? Because of the hysteria that you caused when I trusted you? My friends are dead. My parents are dead. You're the one that's capable of fucking harm.
There's this other weird story beat that I didn't mention, where everyone just blames Laurie for Michael Myers killing people. When Laurie left the store, she was confronted by someone that was affected by the killings in Halloween Kills. But it makes no sense, because Laurie hasn't tried to get Michael's attention at all in these movies. She's convinced Michael is after her, but Michael only goes to her house when the doctor brings him there. She's convinced she's going to get attacked in the hospital in Kills, but he doesn't even go to the hospital. Allison in Kills went after Michael, not Laurie. Blaming Laurie for everything makes no sense. I can see how the innocent victim could see it this way, as they don't have the full context like we do. But coming from Allison, this makes literally no sense. Corey then kills all 4 band kids and his dad in an alright scene. It's not great, but at this point I genuinely don't care. I just kind of want to get over with. These character deaths were a long time coming and isn't really anything all that creative about the scene. You have the characters in a scrapyard that Corey is all too familiar with. Want to have him stalk around like, I don't know. There's just a little guy, you probably haven't heard of him, called Michael Myers. Instead, he gets a car and just runs the two who jump the fence over, and then spawn camps them. Corey kills his mom and the radio station owner, so every side character in the film is basically dead. Corey tries to kill Laurie, but gets ultimately outplayed.
Did you really think I'd kill myself?
He stabs himself in the neck, and Laurie stupidly grabs a knife, leading Allison to think Laurie killed him. So Allison leaves, because obviously. But then somehow, someway, Michael Myers found Corey, steals back his mask, and then fights Laurie. You know what would have made this part cool? If throughout all of Corey's killings we could see Michael in the background stalking Corey as his real prey. Would have been some kind of build-up, but no. Round 2, Laurie, let's go. You got this. Allison then figures out Corey was actually evil because the radio tower is on fire. How did it catch on fire? Who knows? Back to Laurie. Honestly, this fight isn't bad, but by the time I watched it, I was just so done with this movie and all the random bullshit it gave us. Laurie crucifies Michael in the kitchen, where another very poorly edited memory sequence happens. The police arrive at the very final moment, and the whole town watches as they put Michael in the car blender. There's a cute scene of Laurie and Officer Hawkins, and then the movie ends. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Say what you will about Halloween Kills and how it's kind of overall, and it's definitely not devoid of dumb moments. For the most part, both 2018 and Kills are fine movies. Not something I'd put on necessarily, but if it was on, I would watch it. And takes what was good about the first two movies and completely gets rid of them. Not even fans of these movies like Corey. You wanna know how I know this? In this post I saw, they combined all three films to make a supercut and literally removed Corey from it. And honestly, if you wanna just focus on the Strode family versus Michael Myers, you could actually do that. If your main character can get cut from the film and it makes the film actually better, you have a terrible main character. If you really want to do a Michael Myers superfan, why not just use Allison? At the end of Halloween 2018, she survives him and gains somewhat of a fascination with him, playing with the knife he iconically uses. And then in Kill, she sees all the carnage that he causes, causing more of an interest in Michael Myers. Then it ends 4 years later, this fascination has become a fixation for her. Then finally, joining up with him to fight against Laurie. Now to do this, you'd have to completely change Kills, and even then, this idea still sucks. I don't want to say it's a bad idea, because if people cared, it could work, but it's overall just not a good idea unless you have everything prepared in advance. Halloween Ends is a disappointing end to the trilogy, but at least the other two films are decent. I give Halloween Ends a 2 out of 10.
Well, I'm sure glad that's over. Now I can review Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Damn it. Now let's unveil who you really are. It can't be, but it is. Woodrow Wilson, the 28th President of the United States? What the fuck? Well, I guess you can say Halloween has ended. Well, I guess you can say Halloween ends. Okay, that's good. Are you done?